Baby steps?
It means setting small, reasonable goals for yourself, one day at a time. One tiny step at a time.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Oh boy. Baby steps.
Hello there, my name is Jay, and I'm going to talk about a decent day that I had just a few days ago. This past Wednesday, I decided to do another double feature at the movie theaters. But what's always tricky is trying to find two movies that line up perfectly, one after another, or at least within like a certain amount of time. So it's like as soon as one movie ends, I have like a few minutes before the next one starts. And a lot of the time when I'm trying to plan this stuff out, there's an hour-long gap between movies or a 2 hour-long gap between movies. There's just not a lot of times for the movies, even if it's something that's been out for only a week. It's hard sometimes to just find movies that I want to watch back to back, but I can't find the right times lining up. But anyway, the two that I ended up seeing was Mortal Kombat 2 and Obsession. But the movies themselves aren't necessarily what I want to talk about. It's more of just everything around watching those movies. So I get dropped off at my go-to movie theater. Discount day is on Wednesday. It's like $6 a ticket. Very cozy theater, great atmosphere, great food. Servers will actually come to your seat, get your order. It's a nice, cool theater experience. I like it a lot. So I'm sitting down, I'm waiting in the theater. I'm not the only one there. I think there was only ever two other people, maybe three other people in the theater. I don't know, because I was sitting one step up and then middle of the seats. So decent viewing area. Small theater, but all the theaters at this place, or all the screens at this place are pretty small. I'm okay with it. Again, I'm there more for the atmosphere and just for the cozy environment. But yeah, the movie's gonna start in like 20 minutes, so I wait about 10. Nobody comes by. So I'm able to scan a QR code, put in my order, have them just bring the food to me. I don't have to deal with anybody talking to me or whatever, which I don't mind when I go to this theater. So I order like a cheesy potato snack. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's something I never tried before at this place. And I want to get into the habit of doing that where I don't just order the usual every single time I go to a place that has food. I change it up. I try to get something different. And I got something different this time. And I liked it, but there wasn't enough of what I got because it was an appetizer and there was like very minuscule, very small pieces. Finished it very quickly and it ended up being like $15. And this is why I always order water because that's free, so I don't have to worry about it dipping into the overall total of what I'm paying for. But yeah, just that little snack thing on its own was like $15. I'm like, oh my God. But that's how they get you. That's what they do. They get you that way. Anyway, the movie ends. I have about 30 minutes until my next movie starts. I still have like a full glass of water. I didn't want to drink a lot because I don't want to use the bathroom. I like to play it safe so that I don't have to use the bathroom during a movie because I really get upset when I have to miss any part of a movie. So I still have basically a full glass of water left over, so I push the call button. This theater has a call button in case you want somebody to come by and just kind of, refill your drink or give you some more food or something like that. They come over. I say, hey, could I get a cup for this? Take it to go. And they say, yeah, sure. Oh, actually, hold on. I don't know if we have any. Let me go check. They're gone for a while. So I'm just there, sitting there, watching the credits, kind of looking at my phone. They come back, they say, sorry, we don't have any. I'm just like, that's okay, that's fine. Now, I've never done that before, even though there have been times where I've wanted to take a drink to go. I just never thought to ask, hey, can I get a to-go cup? That was the first time I ever did that. And it wasn't even something where I was like giving it a second thought. I was just like, you know what, let me just ask. Why not? Let me see what happens. So now they're going to go to the seats behind me and clean up some stuff. And as they're walking away, I just say, can you actually help me out with something? So the next movie I'm going to see starts in like less than 30 minutes. Are they already doing seating right now? Could I just hop over to that one? It's like, they probably should be. Like me not realizing, and I had to look this up afterhand, that they seat people like 30 minutes before movies. So as soon as I walked in over there, it's like, oh, they're already still, they're showing things on the screen. So people are allowed to sit down and get comfortable. Now, what I should have done is after saying that, oh yeah, I'm going to go to another movie, I should have just asked, would it be okay if I just took this glass of water and just took it over there with me? But that's okay. Maybe next time I do a double feature, I'll ask that. After just mentioning Obsession and doing a double feature, we just start talking about movies for a little bit. It was just like, so, what'd you think of this movie about Mortal Kombat 2? And I'm just like, kind of stupid, but I had fun with it. Like, I was worried for like the first hour, and this is all stuff that I'm telling her. Like, I was worried for the first hour that it was just going to be fan servicey stuff. That they were just going to show stages from the games, fatalities from the games, and just, a lot of familiar stuff that a lot of people that are watching this movie that don't really know the games are just going to be like, what? Why is this even here? What is going on? A little worried about that, but halfway through, there's a fight scene with Johnny Cage and Baraka that's pretty dang fun. I think it's my favorite fight of the movie. And from that point on, I'm like, you know what? I'm having a good time. This is a silly movie with barely a plot, but I'm enjoying it. I think I like it more than the first Mortal Kombat. I think I like it more than any other Mortal Kombat movie we've had before it. So I was having a good time. That I wasn't expecting anything amazing. I wasn't even expecting something good. But what I got, I thought was good enough, and I enjoyed my time with it. So I was already in a pretty good mood. And then we still just keep talking a little bit about the movie, where she's like, yeah, I wish they had more money for this because just some of the effects were kind of not great. And we just kind of go back and forth, just talking about the movie for a little bit while she's just cleaning up seats behind me for the like one or two or three other people that were there in that theater. So that was really cool. That put me in a good mood that I'm just like, I just had a conversation with somebody. Was not expecting a conversation, but one happened. I was able to hold my own. I was able to talk confidently. I was able to just say what was on my mind, not second guess myself. Conversation started naturally, ended naturally, and it was nice. Just for a few minutes, just talking about a movie with somebody that I've never met or seen before in my life. It was really nice. Head over to the next movie, get in there. I'm the first one there. I'm sitting at the very top, way in the back, very last row, all the way to the right, right up against the wall. And I pretty much just like have a whole staircase of room in front of me. So nobody's sitting in front of me. It's just like a lone seat with a whole row next to that one seat. And I was hoping, this was one I actually had to buy the ticket in advance because Obsession, man, are people like crazy about this movie, or are people just really latching onto the word of mouth of this movie? Because this theater got packed. And yeah, these are kind of like small screens. The one I went to was actually a larger screen than the one I saw Mortal Kombat, and it was like double the seats. But again, I'm there, I'm by myself. Somebody comes up, waiter comes up and just asks me what they always say, like, you've been here before, anything I can get you started with? And I basically just say, I'll take a look at the menu first. When I could just be honest with him and say, I already ate, but I don't do that. So I actually am honest with him the next time that he comes by in like a few minutes, because now more people have come in the theater. He's talking to more people up at the top row. He swings by me and says, are you still good? Can I help you with anything? And I just say, no, I think I'm good. And then as he's about to walk away, I stop and I'm like, can I ask you something though? Would it be bad if I ordered just a water and nothing else? Because I always thought about that. Like, I always thought I would feel really guilty ordering a water. The one thing that's free on the menu. Don't get any food, don't start a tab, nothing like that. But so many times when I go to the theater, I feel like I need to order food as well when I don't really need to. I can just order water and I'm totally fine with it. He's just like, nah, you can do it. That's totally fine. Don't worry about it. So that was a relief. Now I know. Awesome. I'll know that for next time. So here's something that was actually kind of, it's the one bad thing that happened this day, but it doesn't ruin the day for me. The whole row I was sitting in pretty much got filled up, including the seat right next to me. Now, the person sitting next to me came with two other people, and as soon as they sit down next to me, they say, man, I hope this movie's scary. And I have this like 2 second pause where I have a choice in my head. I can either say nothing to what this guy just said, because he might not even be talking to me, or in the off chance that he is talking to me, I can just respond to what he said. And 2 seconds after he said that comment, I just said, oh, I actually don't know anything about this movie. He's like, oh, really? And I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I've avoided all the trailers and stuff. I just know that it's good and it's weird. And he's like, hey, you know what? That's smart, going in knowing as little as possible. And then it just ends there. And I realized about 10 seconds too late that he was not talking to me. And I probably even realized this sooner than that because there was somebody sitting right next to him who poked their head out and looked at me. I'm not looking at the guy next to me, and I'm not looking at the guy looking at me. I'm just looking at my phone while I'm talking to him briefly. But yeah, at that point when I realized, oh shoot, he was not talking to me, I feel a little weird, especially since I'm going to be sitting right by this guy for the next 2 hours, and we're probably not going to say anything else to each other. And you know what? That's okay, because if that made me uncomfortable, which it did, I'm watching a horror movie. I want to be uncomfortable. And believe me, Obsession made me very uncomfortable. didn't ruin the movie for me, it didn't ruin the experience. It just was something that was in the back of my mind the whole time while watching the movie. That and the freaking loud AC that was just blaring in the back that made me really regret where I was sitting. But now I know for next time, if I'm going to that theater, I'm not going to sit in the way back. Thankfully, it didn't ruin the movie for me. I kind of got used to it after like 10 minutes, I don't know, something like that. But whew, it was loud, and it did make it hard for me to hear some of the things that were being said. Not everything, just like a couple lines here or there I couldn't understand, but yeah, I'll know for next time. Don't sit in the way back because their AC is too dang loud. Anyway, the movie ends. I order an Uber in my seat before I get out of there. I'm just waiting for a car to be found that's going to come to my location, and it's found pretty quickly, and they're going to pick me up very soon. I got to get to the front as soon as I can. I get out there, I just sort of send a message to the guy where it's like, hey, I'm wearing this. Just swing around so you can pick me up on the right side of the theater. Because the last time I took an Uber from this theater, I guess, I don't know if they were going to loop around, but they were on the other side. So I actually had to cross over a lane to get to them, which I don't like doing at this particular place because cars can pile up very quickly. In fact, when I was waiting for my Uber, there was an instance where a car was just kind of still for a little bit in one of the lanes and was getting honked at pretty badly. So they just kind of like panic drove out of there, out of the line, which is very strange. But anyway, no, guy looped around, picked me up there, and I just do my usual hello when I walk in and they say, are you Jay? I'm like, yeah, I'm Jay. And then as soon as I close my door, as soon as we drive off, he's just like, so what movie did you see? And we just start chatting. I tell him I saw a double feature. I tell him what I saw. And for the next like 10 minutes from when I got in the car to when I got dropped off, we are talking the entire time. There's no dead space. There's no dead air. There's no pause. It's just we're constantly talking to one another. And we're talking about movies and not just the ones that I saw. We're talking about like weapons. And I'm like, I want this. I want more of this in my life. I want to just talk to people casually about movies. Maybe I should be the one that instead of always waiting for somebody to ask me a question, maybe I should just ask somebody a question and see where it goes. Because that guy asked me one simple question and it just turned into a whole conversation. A 10-minute conversation that had no gaps. It was fantastic. It felt amazing. I'm like, I want more of this in my life. That is probably the second Uber ride I've ever had that was basically just a lot of talking. I've had couple Uber rides where there will be like a few little, we talk a little bit, but not much. Maybe just like a few words here and there throughout the ride, but not much. But this was all talking and it felt amazing. And this was another instance during that day where I was just talking without thinking. I was just saying whatever popped up in my head immediately and just came out. That day was just a lot of that where I'm just talking. I'm just saying stuff. I'm talking about movies, but also if there's something I need or if there's something that I want, then I will say that. I will speak up. Regardless of the movies that I saw, which, I mean, I did enjoy both of them. I was at a place where you are expected not to talk, and I didn't talk during the movies, but somehow I was more talkative there than I was at the barcade that I went to that I talked about in the last episode. And I'm pretty sure the reason is because I was there on my own. There wasn't someone next to me that was going to sort of take the pressure off of me to speak. I feel like, oh, I don't got to say anything because I have someone right next to me that's going to do all the talking for me. I had to do all the talking for myself. And it felt natural. It didn't feel like I didn't think I was stammering or anything when I was talking to these people. I think it all went smoothly. This did remind me, though, that I am pretty bad at asking people questions in the middle of the conversation. I'm constantly expecting them to ask me questions, or at least I feel like I can't move the conversation unless I'm being asked questions. I need to work on asking people questions, but still, I was having conversations and it felt great. And I was in such a good mood when I got dropped off. I was on such a high that I was able to just sort of like easily talk to my uncle later that day. Like, we have difficulties having conversations with one another. It's this kind of thing where it's like if we both are in the same room and it's just us, it's almost like we're waiting for each other to be the one to say the first word. But as soon as one of us says something, we're able to talk. We're able to say stuff to one another. And I was the one that kind of just said the first thing, and we were able to just talk for like a few minutes while we were just doing whatever we needed to do in the kitchen. And it felt really good. And I wasn't planning on feeling that way that day. I just thought I'd go to a couple of movies, Maybe I'd enjoy them, maybe I'd hate them, I don't know, but just get out of the house, do something I haven't done in a while, and call it a day. But being surprised that I actually had some actual conversations that day with some people that I never met before, and even with my uncle, who, he and I don't always have a lot to say to each other. I should say, I have recently, only within like the past month, experimented with gummies a little bit. Like, I have no interest in smoking. I have no interest in any sort of like hardcore drugs or anything like that. But I did want to try some gummies just to see if that was going to be another solution to helping with my anxiety. And I actually learned not that long ago that I probably shouldn't have done that because of the medication that I'm on. Now, it's not like 100% that it's going to like interfere and just make things worse, but the few times that I've taken those gummies, they did not relax me. They just made me feel achy, more sluggish, and lose focus very easily. So I don't think they're for me. I think gummies is over and done with. And here's the thing. The high that I felt after that day at the movies, when I was just kind of back in my room, just sort of laying back, just feeling really good, really nice. Better than anything I felt when I was taking those gummies. I don't regret trying them, but now I know they're not for me. I basically just wanted to do this episode to talk about how I unexpectedly was able to have conversations with people. And I was totally on my own. And every conversation that I had that day just kind of came out of nowhere. It caught me by surprise. I wasn't planning to have a conversation, but one popped up, and I was able to hold it together and not have like an awkward pause or just have the conversation just kind of fizzle out of nowhere. It felt really good, and I want more of that. What I learned through this experience is that no, I enjoy talking. I just hate feeling pressured to talk or feeling like I need to talk in a situation where I just don't have anything on my mind. I just need to learn how to ask questions, sustain a conversation. Instead of being the one that is waiting for someone to speak to me, I'd be the one to start the conversation. If I know talking to someone is going to put me in a good mood, then I should learn how to start that with somebody. And that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Like, I had a good day at the theaters. It put me in a good mood. It made me feel something I hadn't felt in a long time. And now I just want to see if I can get that back. I'm not saying go to like another day at the movies and expect the same result, because the thing is, the day turned out good because I had no expectations. So now I just have like this tricky thought. How can I replicate that experience? It doesn't have to be another day at the movies, but how do I replicate that experience of being able to just have natural conversations with people unexpectedly and just feel really good about talking when it's all over and done with? That's something I'm going to have to figure out, and I don't know how I'm going to figure it out, but it felt great. It felt really, really good. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap up here. Hopefully I can get the episode that I've been working on for all this time actually out there. I hate that I keep having to mention it and that I don't do anything about it. I really just need to hunker down and just get it all done, get it all sorted out, and eventually I'll get it out there. But until then, until next time, once again, my name is Jay. Thank you to anybody and everybody that found this and listened to it. I really appreciate it. That's awesome that you gave it a chance. Check out more episodes of this if you listen to it. More episodes are going to come. And, well, bye for now.